Nietzsche's ad hominem against himself, self-critique, and the psychology of the philosopher, was not just relentless in unmasking the hidden motives of others. He turned his sharpest scalpel upon himself. Unlike many philosophers who sought to construct timeless, detached systems of thought, Nietzsche openly acknowledged the personal, psychological, and even pathological roots of his own ideas. He knew that no philosophy could escape the biography of the philosopher, and that included his own. This section will explore how Nietzsche applied his own psychological method to himself, revealing his personal contradictions, struggles, and even potential flaws in his own thinking. 1. The philosopher as a psychological case study. Nietzsche openly admitted that his philosophy was inseparable from his life. He saw himself as a case study. His thoughts, his illnesses, his extreme moods, his isolation, and his pain all played a role in shaping his worldview. I am not a man. I am dynamite. Ecce homo. Why I am a destiny. 1. But was this insight a sign of self-awareness or of dangerous egotism? Nietzsche would not spare himself from this question. He knew that his rejection of objective truth could itself be interpreted as a psychological defense mechanism, rather than a purely philosophical stance. He asked implicitly, am I a seeker of truth or just an angry man rebelling against it? I mistrust all systematizers and avoid them. The will to a system is a lack of integrity. Twilight of the Idols, Reason in Philosophy, 26. Could this be Nietzsche's own confession? Was his refusal to build a structured system a convenient way to avoid commitment? Did he destroy morality and truth because he failed to find them within himself? 2. The psychology of a sick philosopher. Is Nietzsche's philosophy just a reflection of his suffering? Nietzsche's philosophy is obsessed with struggle, pain, and overcoming, but why? Was it a rational, universal insight about human existence? Or was it simply a reflection of his own suffering? He suffered from chronic migraines, digestive issues, and eye problems that left him incapacitated for days. Intense mood swings, alternating between periods of great euphoria and deep despair. Extreme loneliness, having been rejected by Lou Salome and betrayed by close friends. Estrangement from society, living in isolation while watching his former companions rise in influence. Would Nietzsche's will to power still exist if he had been healthy, loved, and socially successful? Poor humanity. A single drop of blood too much or too little in the brain may render our life unspeakably miserable and difficult. And we suffer more from this single drop of blood than Prometheus from his vulture. But the worst is when we do not know that this drop is causing our sufferings and we think it is the devil or sin. Daybreak I 83. This is Nietzsche diagnosing himself. His radical ideas, his attack on morality, truth, and the herd might not come from a purely philosophical vision, but from his own physiological struggles. Would a stronger, healthier Nietzsche have created the same philosophy? Would a Nietzsche, born into power and privilege, have seen the world the same way? 3. Nietzsche's hatred of morality, a justified critique or personal bitterness. Nietzsche's most famous target was morality, which he saw as a tool of the weak to control the strong. But was this an objective critique, or was it rooted in his own frustrations? He openly admitted that he was not an assertive, dominant man. He was introverted, shy, physically weak, and often socially awkward. Was his hatred of Christian morality a reaction to his own inability to thrive in social circles? Was his attack on compassion and equality a personal rejection of the kindness he himself failed to receive? Was his obsession with the higher man just a way to elevate himself above others, despite his failures in love, friendship, and social influence? I attack only causes that are victorious. I may even wait until they become victorious. When I wage war against Christianity, I am entitled to do so because it has been victorious over everything noble in humanity. Ecce homo. Why I am so wise. 1. Nietzsche chose his enemies carefully. But was he fighting ideas, or was he fighting the world that had rejected him? He never married. He lost friends. He lived alone. Would a Nietzsche, who had been embraced by society, have still rejected morality so violently? Or was his entire project an act of revenge? 4. His need for greatness. Self-overcoming or delusion? Nietzsche's greatest value was self-overcoming, the constant striving to become more than oneself. He despised stagnation, comfort, and passivity. But here, he turns the knife on himself. I know my fate. One day, my name will be associated with the memory of something tremendous. I am not a man. I am dynamite. Ecce homo. Why I am a destiny one. Was this prophetic insight or megalomania? Was Nietzsche's obsession with becoming great an expression of genuine self-overcoming, or was it a desperate attempt to escape his own perceived failures? He diagnosed Wagner and Schopenhauer as being poisoned by resentment. But could the same be said of Nietzsche himself? Could his rejection of truth, morality, and traditional philosophy be just another form of resentment, a way of rejecting what he himself could not have? Nietzsche was brave enough to turn these same questions upon himself. Was he a visionary or a sick man hallucinating greatness? Was he destroying illusions or creating his own? Was he truly above morality or merely resentful of it? Nietzsche did not have the luxury of escaping these questions. Neither do we. Conclusion. Nietzsche's greatest lesson: turn the knife on yourself. If philosophy is a confession, then Nietzsche's work is a confession of struggle, self-doubt, and pain. He taught us not to trust easy answers, even our own answers. His philosophy is not a system to accept. It is a challenge to confront. To read Nietzsche honestly, one must ask, am I willing to critique myself with the same force that I critique the world? That is Nietzsche's final challenge. Are you willing to take it?